When Netflix first announced that they were the first company in history to buy all the rights to all seven Narnia books, they revealed that they planned on producing both Narnian movies and series. Now, a lot of the fan base started to wonder what exactly a Narnia series might look like. Would it be one of the books in serial form, or is there a chance that it could be something totally brand new? At the time, there was a lot of buzz behind franchise spin-offs like The Rings of Power or The Mandalorian, so the prospect of new stories that don't violate Narnia canon but expand the lore, well, it really got some Narnia fans excited, and others pretty horrified. Well, today, I'm gonna go ahead and pitch what I think might be the perfect Narnia spin-off. It's a backstory that's just begging to be told, and I think the title of the series says it all. One word: Jadis. Now, of course, the concept is a series about Jadis' life from her perspective. We'll watch her transform from an idealistic royal on the planet of Charn to a planetary destroyer, and eventually becoming the infamous White Witch, the false queen of Narnia. There's political intrigue, romance, betrayal, war, dark magic, even the foreshadowing of other Narnian plot points like the creation of the giant city Harfang and even the origin of the Lady of the Green Kirtle. This show has it all. Now, I've actually written up an entire 5-season treatment, and I'm gonna take you through it today, season by season. But if Netflix is watching and this show actually does end up getting made someday, you can't say I didn't warn you. There could be spoilers ahead. Now, before we dive in, I just want to take a second and thank the supporters over at Patreon who help make this video possible. Your support is what keeps this channel going, and you give because you believe in the message of Narnia. If you'd like to join the community and support the work of this channel, please join us at patreon.com/intothewardrobe. Well, we have an entire hypothetical series to cover today, so let's get started. It's time to leave the Shadowlands behind and journey to a world that's more real than our own. It's time to follow me into the wardrobe. Jadis the Series, Season 1, Red Sun Rising. The series opens in the ancient grandeur of Jadis' home world of Charn, where a tyrannical princess storms the halls of the palace, striking fear into the hearts of every servant she passes. But this is not Jadis. It's actually her sister, the oldest daughter of the Emperor of Charn. Now, through a side entrance in the palace hall, Jadis emerges. She's a passionate idealist who loves her world and wants nothing more than to reform Charn's corrupt society. And she's supported in this by her husband, whom she loves more than anything else in the world. Early in the series, she confides in him that she is pregnant, and it's a fact that must be kept secret because, by law, only the eldest successor of Charn is allowed to continue the royal bloodline. Even so, she defiantly decides to keep her pregnancy, albeit in secret for now. It's a symbol of her hope in a world of decay. When her sister viciously murders her father in order to take control of the throne, Jadis' world is shattered. From that moment forward, she is resolved in one core belief, and it's a belief that will shape the course of the rest of her life: that the only way to guarantee survival is to gain and keep absolute power. And so she launches a secret rebellion to overthrow her sister. And as her path grows darker, she begins to be haunted by strange dreams, visions of a lush and beautiful foreign land, a mighty lion with piercing eyes, and the flash of immense jaws snapping shut as she gasps awake in terror. Now, as the season progresses, her ruthlessness escalates, eventually driving her to seek out the secret of the ultimate forbidden weapon, the world-ending magic of the deplorable word. It's an ancient spell of total annihilation, and it's hidden behind forbidden rituals. But learning the secret demands that she pay a great and terrible price, and so she does. In a harrowing ritual, she offers her husband's lifeblood as the most painful sacrifice she can imagine. And as his dramatic death closes the season, we end on a shot of Jadis' face in the candlelight, transformed with a look of pure determination. Season 2, The Last War. In this season, Jadis dives into the shadowy world of political intrigue amongst the Charnian elite, using threats and blackmail to forge an underground network of spies and informants from characters that we met in Season 1, eventually coercing several generals of the Charnian army into her service. Her nightmares intensify, now bleeding over into waking hallucinations, causing unpredictable fury and fits of panic. Mid season, she launches a bold surprise attack on her sister's forces, but her plans fall apart due to betrayal and leaked intelligence, which forces Jadis's rebels to resort to desperate guerrilla warfare across the Charnian crumbling landscape. Now, this paves the way for a final, desperate clash between forces in a season finale. But the Charnian army is too powerful for the rebels. One by one, each battalion falls until only Jadis herself remains, and left with no choice but a final one-on-one duel between the sisters. In a brutal mix of magic and martial arts, both fight with all they have, but in the end, Jadis's sister stands tall over Jadis's battered body, ready to cast a final magical death blow. And with a sadistic pleasure, she informs Jadis that she knows of her pregnancy, and she vows to do whatever it takes to eradicate the forbidden royal bloodline. In an act of desperation and fury, Jadis does the unthinkable. She unleashes the deplorable word. And in an instant, all living creatures in Charn vanish, leaving only Jadis and the unborn child inside her. The season ends in eerie silence as Jadis slowly stumbles through the rubble of the empty streets into the hall of the royals and collapses in the empty seat next to the statue of her father. Now, before we go any farther, I want to stop for a minute and talk about the power of story. You see, C.S. Lewis firmly believed that the stories that capture and compel us the most, well, they touch our hearts because they ultimately echo a greater story. The greatest story, it's the story of God's redemptive work in the world throughout human history, accomplished through Christ. And at Boyce College, the sponsor of today's video, that gospel message is central to everything that they do. You see, while Boyce is committed to preparing graduates who are committed to serve and ready to lead with confidence in a world that's increasingly uncertain, the foundation of this preparation is the gospel. That's why Boyce is serious about the gospel, and I can't recommend a better school than Boyce College. If you or someone you know is looking for the next steps after high school, you owe it to yourself to check out boycecollege.com. Now, back to the story. Season 3, The Awakening. Centuries later, the silence of Charn is shattered by the sudden, loud, and unending ringing of a bell. Before Jadis awakes, viewers are plunged into her dreamscape. It's a vivid recap of all of her trauma so far, from the deaths of her father and husband, to her losses in battle, to the speaking of the deplorable word, climaxing with a vision once again of the lion plunging towards her just as her eyes snap open. While she's awakened by the appearance of Diggory Kirk and Polly Plummer, the season focuses on an extended take on the magician's nephew from Jadis's perspective. We see her magic falter in the tranquil wood between the worlds, draining her strength and igniting her vulnerability. We see chaos ensue in the alien world of London, England, where her disorientation and survival instinct lead to her maniacal rampage. And finally, we see Jadis transported to a new world where she witnesses firsthand the creation of Narnia. And to her shock and dread, she finally encounters the lion face to face. And as she flees the lion in terror, there's an expanded subplot that details her escape into the wilderness, discovering and breaching the gates of Aslan's garden and tempting Diggory with the silver apple of immortality. And as the season closes with the planting of the Tree of Protection, we find Jadis retreating beyond Ettonsmoor all the way to the wildlands of the north, where there she encounters newly created giants, innocent, wide-eyed, and weak-minded behemoths with a dose of curiosity. And when Jadis offers them guidance with a cunning smile, of course, the audience senses her manipulation, foreshadowing Hairfang's rise and ruin as Jadis plots her long game. Well, as you can see, this is a big story and it takes time to tell. And just so I can be sure to get this video out as soon as possible, we're going to turn this into a two-parter. But don't worry, the next video will be out before you know it, and believe you me, it will be worth the wait. I cannot wait for you to hear the conclusion of this series. Now, in the meantime, I want to hear from you. What do you think so far? Is there anything I missed? Anything that we should change? I'd love to hear your prediction for the rest of the season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And as always, I look forward to joining you next time as we take another journey into the wardrobe.